guys, it's Megan, and today I'm going to talk to you all about my favorite cream blushes. And I feel so naked because I'm not wearing any blush, bronzer, or highlight right now. All I have on is my ColourPop Pretty Fresh foundation because I want to demo each of these for you guys so you can see how I apply my cream blushes. I have a few different techniques that I like to use, and then you can actually see them on my skin, which I think is really important because with cream blush, it's not how it appears in the pan. Usually it's more sheer, it could be glowy, it could not be, and I personally like glowier cream blushes. So I don't like the powdery, like cream to powder formulas typically. I don't really like super pigmented cream blushes. I like the ones that are almost like a sheer wash of color. I just think that is what cream blush is really like best suited for, and I found formulas that I love that are that kind of style. So I have 5 favorites, and then I have a highlighter that I also really love that's a cream. I'm going to start out with the one that I feel like the least amount of people have probably tried, and that is Half Caked Candy Paints. These are incredible, you guys, and the only reason they're not as popular is because they're like an online only indie brand. If these were in Ulta or even Sephora, these would be like insanely popular. So I have 4 shades, as you can see, and they recently came out with cream bronzers as well. I have one of their blush shades called You're So Last Summer that works really well for me as a bronzer, but if you have deeper skin than me, this probably wouldn't work as a bronzer. So I think it's awesome that they came out with a really great range of cream bronzers as well, but I haven't tried that formula, but I would assume it's pretty comparable to this. I love the packaging. It looks like a little candy heart, and it is magnetized, which I just think is awesome. It has a mirror, and then of course you have your product, and these are under $15, like they're closer to $10, and they're amazing. What I love about these is that they're super emollient. Like once you put your finger in them, they kind of like melt onto your skin, but they like are definitely a cream. They're not like a liquid. And then when you put it on your skin, you can see it has good pigment. You can really sheer it out, which I love. So that was Your So Last Summer. This is Disco Lemonade. This one is very pink, but again, it's nice that it can be sheared out. And these are a little bit of a thicker formula, so I personally apply these with my fingers. I think that the warmth of your hands really helps. Then we have Millions of Peaches, which is like a corally pink. And you can see they're very pigmented, so even if you have deeper skin, these would work. So you can see Disco Lemonade is more pink and Millions of Peaches is more coral. And then Velvet Tiger is the one that I use the most, and this is like, it looks kind of brown, but it's really like a nudie mauve. This one is so pretty. Like on my skin tone, this is kind of like a blush bronzer, and it's just so gorgeous. So you can see Your So Last Summer is the sheerest of all of them, and then the other 3 are more pigmented. And I'll leave these on my hand so you can see how they dry down, because they look glowy, but they're not sticky or like wet on your face. So I'm going to apply Your So Last Summer first, and I love that it has a little mirror. So I'm just taking my middle finger and I'm going to apply it at like the back of my cheek and just like dab basically, and it like blends out like nothing. Like it doesn't even look like I'm wearing makeup, you know? Let me do it on this side too. Oh, it's just so easy and pretty looking. So it's not a super deep bronze color by any means, but on my skin tone it works really well. And then I'm gonna go in with Millions of Peaches. So I'm just gonna take a little bit because, like you saw, a little goes a long way with this color. And I'm using my index finger this time. And so I just, my hair's getting in my face, but I just kind of like tap it on and it just kind of melts into the skin. Let me do Velvet Tiger on the other cheek to show you guys. So this one is more like that mauve-y nude. Woo, that one's a little more pigmented, but ooh, this one is so pretty. I absolutely love this one. And it just looks gorgeous and took like 5 seconds. And I think you can see it leaves a little bit of like dewiness, more than I had before I applied this, which I really like. I like how it looks just like a natural sheen. And so on my hand you can also see that even though they're like dried down, they have like a slight glow to them, but they're not tacky at all whatsoever. Like you could definitely move them. They're not like permanently on there, but they do dry down but still look glowy, which I really love. So that is Half Cake Candy Paints. So underrated. Really would recommend you guys trying them out, and you can get them on Amazon or their direct website. And so that is the first favorite that I have. I'm just gonna apply some foundation over that to show you guys the next set, because I also have a blush and bronzer of this next one, and these are the Tower 28s, which I feel like are the most talked about, at least from the videos I watch. So I have one of their blushes, the Beach Please in Magic Hour, and then the Bronzino bronzer in West Coast. So the Bronzino is very sheer. Like you can see that this looks pretty deep, but you'll see it really works well on my skin tone. And if you're much deeper, this wouldn't really be a bronzer. So they do have more shades, but they're very sheer. So this is even more emollient and like thinner of a formula than the Half Caked. So I barely put my finger in there and you get like a lot on your finger. There's no mirror on these and it's just like a clasp closure, but I do like that you can see the color through it. So this one is gorgeous, and this is a lot more of a bronzy shade than your So Last Summer on my skin, but it's very sheer. Like it just looks like your skin. It's strange, honestly. Like it's amazing, but kind of weird. So when you put it on, again, I use my fingers for this formula. It just looks like skin. Like it doesn't look like makeup. And wow, yeah, that is so creamy. And literally, I just like tap it on. So that is West Coast Bronzino. I think they have 4 to 5 shades of the Bronzino. And then their Beach Please is the like cream blush formula. And I have Magic Hour, which is probably the most popular. And I go between either using my finger or using a brush. And my favorite cream blush brush is the Zoeva 128. This is great for cream blush. So I would just take a little bit, and the blush formula from Tower 28 is a lot, I don't want to say drier because that sounds bad, but it's not as emollient as the Bronzino or even the Half Caked. It's more stiff, which I think works better with a brush. And you can see that just applied so effortlessly. It looks gorgeous on the skin and gives you a little bit of that glow. So I'll apply it on this side as well. And I just kind of like stipple the brush to blend it out. Like, I don't like buff it because I feel like that will lift up my foundation underneath, but if you stipple it, it just looks incredible. Again, that slight sheen, which I just love from cream blushes. And again, these will like set down, so they won't be like creamy or sticky or anything on the skin. It will just still have that glow, which is so beautiful in the summer. And yeah, I love this combination. I love this color, the more like warm nude. It is just beautiful. So that is the Tower 28 Bronzino in West Coast and Beach Please in Magic Hour. Another one of my favorites are these Patrick Ta Double Take Cream and Powder Blush Palettes. So I only have She's So LA, and this is like the ultimate one to me. This is a very unique colorway. So it has this beautiful like rose gold mirrored packaging. It has a mirror, and then it has a powder blush and then a cream blush with a little like protector, which I think is awesome. I'll apply the powder blush on one side and then put the cream on top of it, which is how they recommend to do it, and also how I usually apply it. And then I'll just apply the cream on the other side because I do use the cream by itself quite a lot. It would make me so happy if Patrick Ta just came out with the creams by themselves, because while I like the powder, I feel like the real special product is the cream. But I'll just take a little bit of the powder blush, and it's actually quite pigmented, so I probably shouldn't have taken that much. But this is kind of like a blushy bronze color, which is just beautiful. So I almost use this as like a bronzer when I wear it. So it's just beautiful, great color. But then the star of the show is this cream. With this one, I either use a blush or my fingers, or a brush or my fingers. I'll use my fingers. This is a similar formula to the Half Caked candy paints. It's thin, but not as thin as like the Bronzino from Tower 28, but it gives that amazing sheen, and it's quite sheer, so you might not have really seen a change in color on top of the blush, like the powder blush. So let me show it to you on this side, which doesn't have any product, and I just love this shade. It kind of reminds me of the Velvet Tiger from Half Caked, a little bit warmer and more sheer, so I feel like I can control the pigment better. And if you use your fingers, you're always going to get a sheerer formula or a sheerer application than when you use a brush. So if you think that that's too sheer, oh my gosh, look at that glow, you can use a brush. So I'm just going to go in with this Zoeva brush that I wiped off, and then you can build it up more with a brush. So it is just beautiful either way, either with the powder and the cream, or just with the cream. So you can see with the cream it's more glowy because we applied more of it, and then on this side the cream is almost acting as a highlighter because we just applied a little bit of it. But I love this so much. Again, I wish he would just come out with the creams by themselves because I think it's such a beautiful, unique formula, and I just love this shade. So that's She's So LA from Patrick Ta. My newest cream blush is this Urban Decay Face and Lip Tint in Bang. And so this is in like a stick format, All the other ones that I have shown so far are in like a pot, but this is like a twist up stick of cream, and I've only used this on my face, but I'm sure it would be really pretty on the lips. And this is such a different color than what I typically go for. So look at how that blends out. Like, it is gorgeous. And like, that is what I love with cream blushes, that it looks so bright and vibrant, but you can make it work even if you have really light skin. So with this, I just apply it straight to my cheeks, which I don't typically do with a lot of products, but this one I just kind of like dab on like that, and then I take my brush and just stipple it out. And it's perfection. Like, literally, what did that take? 5 seconds? It is so, so gorgeous. And again, I love the glow that it has to it. Oh, it is beautiful. And I like that it's sheerer than the half caked, because then I don't have to spend as much time blending it. It just like blends. Like, it doesn't take any effort. And it's stunning. So this is one of my new favorites for sure. Like, I like all of these for different reasons, but I really, really like this. I like the convenience of it just being in a little stick. Let's try it on the lips, because why not? I'm just applying it with my fingers. Yep, it's gorgeous. So this is really nice. It's very, very creamy. So I feel like if you live in a hot climate, the stick might melt. I'm not sure. Like, I just tried to dab it off on my towel, and it kind of like disintegrated a little bit. Like, it just is very delicate, I guess I should say. So it is beautiful. I love it with my makeup today. I love it on the lips. Wow, it's just gorgeous. And like I said, this is the newest one that I have bought, and I'm really impressed. I saved the best for last, you guys. This is probably my favorite. It's the one that I use the most, and this is the NARS Liquid Blush in Orgasm. And you have to shake this up because it's like a oil and pigment situation, so it does separate, so you really need to shake it up very, very well. And this will last you literally forever. So this has a pump on it, and a little bit goes such a long way, which is what I love with this. And it is the most gorgeous color. So I either apply this with a brush, the Zoeva one, or I will apply it with a damp sponge. And I have really loved these Ulta brand like beauty blender dupes, and it comes with a little like stand for it, which is nice. So when it's like drying, you can put on that. But I'm just going to make sure it's not too wet because I just dampened it. You are literally going to pump out this super tiny amount, and that is still too much, like at least for my skin tone. So what I do is I take it from the back of my hand, I take a little bit on the sponge, and then I just go directly on my cheek. And I would say this is the most versatile blush because it's not as like glowy and stuff like that as the other blushes that I've shown you are. This one has a beautiful sheen to it, but it's not super glowy. Like, it's just the perfect amount of a healthy sheen. Let me take a little bit more and do this side. And whenever I wear this, I just always feel like this would be the most perfect blush for a wedding. Like, the bride just like glowing with this beautiful like lip from within blush. It's just so beautiful, and it's a very, very, very thin formula. So even though it looks like it has a glow, it is absolutely not sticky or anything. It just completely dries down to not a powder, but it just kind of like sets. Like, I guess that's the best word for it. And you can see, you can really sheer it out. Oh my gosh, our fire alarm is going off. False alarm, false alarm. But if you wanted to build it up, just take a little bit more, like literally never press down all the way. It will be too much. But you can build it up as much or as little as you want, and it's just effortless. And I think using the sponge is nice because then you can blend the edges. Oh my gosh, it is so, so beautiful. And they do have other colors, but I feel like this orgasm pink is, I don't know, pretty universal. It's beautiful. So that is probably my favorite because I do wear it a lot. It goes with so many looks. It's not too glowy. It's not anything. It's just perfect, and it just looks way more airbrushed than a typical powder blush would. So I absolutely love that. The honorable mention that I wanted to show you guys like pairs with this so beautifully. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Beauty Light one in Spotlight. And so this is like a squeezy tube with a crazy sponge on the end. And I just do a few dabs. Sometimes I don't apply it directly, but lately I've been getting brave. And then I just blend it out either with my finger or a small brush, and it's perfection. Like, this also takes no effort at all for it to look gorgeous. And this combination, I just always think looks so bridal and so beautiful. And wow, it's just stunning. So those two combined is like my favorite thing ever, but this blush on its own is great, and I use this highlighter all the time with like powder blushes or cream blushes, and it's just stunning. So that is it for my cream blush favorites. I love this. This is, I saved the best for last, like I said, but I really love all of these. They all have like different use cases for me. They all like work a little bit differently, but they all look gorgeous on the skin. And I hope this helped you if you're like really getting into cream blush. Like, it's so trendy right now, which I think is awesome. And these are the ones that are very tried and true for my collection. Like the Urban Decay one I bought within the past month, but that's the most recent. All the other ones I've used for quite a few months, if not like a year. So I really, really love these, and I hope this helped you guys. If it did, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and let me know your favorite cream blushes down in the comments below. I would love to get some more recommendations. So thank you so much, and I'll see you soon.